All right, and if you aren't already, go ahead and mute yourselves for me. We will have a part where everybody will unmute. But for the most part, let's see. We have more people checking on in and checking out. So just heads up. Sierra, I love your glasses and your background. That pink is gorgeous. Love it.
Thank you, girl.
All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. But welcome, everybody. I am Kamara Daughtry, and this is the Virtual Content Creator Meetup. You are in for a treat. Most of you all are in DCOW, which is our 5,000 member Facebook group. If you're not, the link will be dropped in there shortly. Today, we have two special guests, okay? Carolyn Green and Tony Benton Jr. Like I was telling Deontay before and the group, Carolyn grew her audience from 0 to over 40,000 TikTok influencers. That's a big deal because we know that TikTok is hot. That's a good way to say it. TikTok is hot. And then I also want to acknowledge, as journalists, we are now in this innovation age. So you have journalists who are receiving independent compensation because we are creating so much content. So as content creators, we have to, number one, know how to schedule. We have to also know how to market our content. And we also need to know strategy. Who is our audience? For some of you all, it may be sports. So for some of you all, it may be entertainment, and that's okay. But we want you to do is find your niche. And as a content creator, find your space in this industry because there are so many to choose from. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Before, let me see, I share my screen again. If everyone can drop their Twitter handle in the comments and then go ahead and follow one another, that would be perfect. This would not be a meetup if we did not network. Okay. Let me see over here. Excellent. This is my background. I'm a social media specialist in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And a lot of you all, Janie Mack, I know you are in Atlanta. Ashley Brewer, she's a native from Atlanta, and I believe she's in Louisiana now. But yes, that's where I'm originally from. So this is how our itinerary is going to go. And again, if you are not on mute, please go ahead and put yourselves on mute. We're going to start off. We just did our icebreaker. Our icebreaker was drop your brand names. Really, what's your Twitter handles? I want to emphasize, as someone who is on social media 24/7, like that's my job. You want to make sure that your social media account is a reflection of the job, either A, that you want, or either B, one that you're looking to receive. And what do I mean by that? Most of the time when we are in this weird space, when we're saying, hey, I kind of want to move over to sports, but I'm still in an MMJ position, what you want to start doing is, even if you are in hard news, correct? And you say, listen, I want to work at an ESPN, or I want to work at a big sports franchise, begin to start doing those videos. Once you begin to practice your writing and your craft, it will become easier. So that's just what I wanted to point out. Some discussion points that we are going to have from our speakers, Tony Benton Jr. and Carolyn Green. Tips for successful content creation, how to generate income as a creator, and then best influencer strategies, okay? So we're going to have two 15-minute conversations from our guest host and then a group Q&A. So again, this is for journalists, content creators, artists, and public relation professionals. And now, one thing before we get started, because we will have a lot of people ping in and ping out, I want you to go ahead and take a snapshot, either of the flyer that you already have, but get your phones out, and I want you to tag Tony, Carolyn, myself, in our Twitter page. And I also want you to make sure, if you haven't already, sign up for our PR and marketing workshop. The price will increase right after, let me see. Yeah, the price will increase after Wednesday. So you want to make sure you sign up for the PR marketing workshop now. If you are a DCOW member on the website, you do not have to pay. So you are good on that side. Now let's go ahead and get started because our influencers have more content to create. All right, first up is Carolyn. Now I told you before, she grew her audience. So Carolyn, if you want to pop on camera, you can. But I just want to read a little bit about her background. What she does is she helps people get scholarships. I see so many people now are utilizing the live feature on TikTok. And this is, I mean, this is helpful because I saw the Shade Room. They had 3 people, like a 3-box shot, and they interviewed 3 people on their TikTok live. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I do Carolyn justice, and I want you to see what her local news reported on her with.
A University of North Texas student has a lot of expertise when it comes to snagging scholarships.
Yeah, she's been awarded more than 20 scholarships and helped others land more than $1 million. Fox 4's John Anglin shows us how the student is inspiring others, and parents included, I imagine. Dion, she's got this great YouTube channel. Tell us about it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Carolyn Green has been studying broadcast journalism here for about 3 years, but she's known around the globe by many who believe that her technique to win scholarships works.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel ESP.
It's pretty clear UNT junior Carolyn Green has got the Midas touch
How to ace scholarship interviews.
when it comes to securing the scholarship bag.
I'd say around like 15 back in high school. And then like now, up till now as a junior, I won like 20 scholarships.
The DeSoto native started posting videos with tips during her senior year in high school.
From what I've seen online, like from blogs and articles and other YouTubers who already have videos out regarding scholarships, they weren't covering the material that I felt was necessary for everyone else to know.
In 3 years, there have been more than 100,000 views, and
I had my scholarship interview and I got it, $5,000.
dozens of happy scholarship winners who give her credit.
You said you can add all that up and it's over $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Green believes the essay portion of an application deserves major attention.
When it comes to writing scholarship essays, which I like to consider as like the heart of your scholarship application, there's basically like a template that I made, a formula on how you should format your scholarship essay in order to make it more compelling to those reading it.
Just recently, Green wrote an essay that fetched herself a $2,000 award from rapper Future. She traveled to Austin to claim the cash and snagged a photo with the entertainer.
So the scholarship process for current college students is a lot different.
On Tuesday evening, she's launching a fresh series of YouTube videos, calling it the Scholarship Algorithm.
As current college students,
Okay, and I'll pause it there. And this is her bio, so if you want to take a quick screenshot of that, and then I'm going to take it back to speaker mode. Let me see here. All right, now, first of all, this is what we want to know. Carolyn Green, first, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And also my name's Carolyn Green. My grandmother's Carolyn, but yes.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I'll say it right. Let me ask you this. First, we want to know, how did you go from 0 to 40,000 followers on TikTok? That's a huge platform. How'd you do it?
Well, first, I made sure to do a lot of market research. If you're trying to grow your brand on TikTok, there is this one YouTuber that I highly recommend that you watch his videos. His name is Todd. Let's see. Todd, well, I'll put it in the chat, in the comments, but I learned a lot from his videos. And so I did overall market research specific to TikTok, as well as niche specific research. So since I'm focused on like scholarships and overall educational advice, I made sure to follow beforehand and study the content of other content creators who were doing similar stuff to mine before I launched my account.
So let me ask you this. When you talk about a strategy, number one, you said, listen, I did my research. How did you know that you could even trust this YouTuber?
Well, he had a lot of credibility and he's been doing social media marketing for a lot of years. So, and he has a pretty large following. So I think he was a credible resource for that reason.
No, definitely. Let me ask you this. When you first started because this is her YouTube channel, and let's go back. So you said, listen, before I even started my huge follower base on TikTok, I did some research. Now let's go back to your YouTube channel before you even got highlighted at your local news affiliate. What did you do and how did you strategize your YouTube videos? I mean, of course you were recording and then editing, but what was your strategy?
So for YouTube, it was a very similar process. And honestly, it's a lot harder to grow on YouTube. So that's why I say in today's day and age of social media to really focus first on creating content via TikTok and then from there branching out to YouTube. So I started YouTube back in 2017, the senior year of my high school, after I just graduated from high school. And my first couple of videos received a lot of views. And then after that, it kind of dwindled down because the algorithm on YouTube in particular, a lot of times likes to promote content that is more so entertainment based or like beauty and fashion, things like that, not so much like educational type of topics.
Right.
So I've been seeing a lot more growth on TikTok in particular because they tend to be a lot more friendly to my specific niche.
That's interesting. And when you talk about niche, you also talk about a target audience. So did it come natural to you?
Yes. So my target audience is basically students, parents, and educators. So some of the key hashtags that I use are specific to that. So I might say hashtag high school, hashtag college, hashtag parents, or scholarship specifically. And then from there, the algorithm will promote my video.
Oh my goodness. And I see this one has over 73,000 views. So let me ask you this. When did you really start seeing a jump in your viewership? How did you see that?
On TikTok or YouTube?
I want to know about both, but we can first go on YouTube.
Okay, so I started to see a jump for my YouTube channel once I started getting those first couple of comments that were saying that as a result of the advice in my videos, my scholarship videos, that they were able to win scholarships. So the more, oh, not that video. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. I'm going back to Asia Scholarship. I'm going back to this one. This one got 80,000 more views anyway.
But yeah, the more comments you get and then the more engagement you have as far as like comments, shares, and all that, the algorithm will promote your stuff more. And then specifically to TikTok, it's very important to have your first couple of uploads to really capture your audience's attention. Like as you can see that you just pulled up on my screen, I just posted that video yesterday, and that has
This one?
well, that was earlier today, but the other video yesterday that says this went viral, that was posted
What
just yesterday.
was the big incident at your high school?
Got you.
But yeah, what was I saying?
We were talking about TikTok.
Oh yeah, so hold on. I wrote all these notes and I'm trying to go through it. Let me see.
Okay. That's how it always happens. I want to do this. I was going to do the group Q&A for at the end, but of course I know somebody has a question. Let me see. Does anybody want to go ahead and ask their question? We're only going to take one.
I got a question.
Okay.
Yes, hello, Carolyn. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I like what you, because I have been following you for a while, just when that story broke years ago, and I love what you brought up about the algorithm in YouTube, because I saw on your videos something that's affected a lot of other YouTubers as well. You see how like your viewership was rising, and then a couple of your other videos, like you said before, kind of hit a big dip down, because a lot of it would also, I've always heard, is keywords, and also how, you know, the engagements and all the shares and stuff like that. So, but with seeing what you saw was happening, the dip of your videos, what convinced you enough to say that I got to transition to another social media platform to help my brand still grow?
Okay, so what helped me make that transition finally to TikTok? Because I've literally only been on here for a little over a month. So I started in the middle of January. One of the people who I helped win a scholarship, she told me that she saw on TikTok some other content creators who do similar work to me as far as giving like college advice and scholarship advice. So, and she saw how fast they were growing on that platform. So that was what initiated me to go ahead and get on there as well.
Do you fear that you need to try to stay with the trends? You know, because like just like YouTube, there's always the people that try to mix their niche with other things just to keep themselves up with the algorithm. So like, do you feel that when you're trying to be educational, do you feel that you may also try to add like entertainment, and then maybe your audience might not be into it? Has that ever crossed your mind?
For my TikTok videos, in particular, I do incorporate like entertainment aspects. Like I'll do like skits from popular sounds on TikTok. Like if you see that one video where it says the caption scholarships, right? I did a skit for that. And that video got quite a few engagement. I reposted it earlier and it had instead like 5,000 likes that time. And then the second time it had 1,000. But yeah, it does help to do skits because it helps with engagement and encouraging people, of course, to apply for scholarships at the end of the day. So yeah.
So thank you
Thank you.
for that question. Let me ask you this. So I really know this is on everybody's mind. This is on my mind. How can we grow our audience quick? For you, it was research, but I want to know, how can I get from 0 to 100 by tomorrow? And I'm just being honest.
Well, the first thing is that your first couple of videos, like I said earlier, your first 1 to 5 videos, at least 1 or 2 of them has to perform well. So let's say that your first couple of videos, like one in particular gets 500,000 views. Well, then after that, your later videos will get similar amounts of views or something like 10% of that, well, not that percentage, but like instead maybe 50,000 or something like that. So it helps to have your first video. Like if you scroll down to my very first video on my TikTok account, I believe that one had, let's see.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that because you have over 463,000 views on YouTube, so do you think that your YouTube audience went ahead and followed you on TikTok?
No, it was not the case. I mean, some did, but for the most part, this is a totally new audience.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I like about TikTok is that you can reach a new audience because other algorithms, other algorithms for other platforms, it's very hard. So you're basically reaching the people who already follow you.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead. I want to take some more questions because we have 15 minutes of your time, starting about 14. Who has some more questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Hi, Carolyn. What challenges have you faced in using TikTok? And what are the challenges of using TikTok, and how, what are like the pros and cons?
Let's see. Some of the challenges are basically trying to understand your analytics and knowing what time, what day, or what time of the day is the best time for you to post to optimize your engagement rate. So you can easily do this by going to your settings and analyzing it from there. But once you really understand that, it becomes a lot easier to make sure that your content goes viral or gets more engagement than usual.
So it's about your post times, because that's something that we see on Facebook. What are your popular post times?
Okay, so for TikTok, my popular post times are more so like 11 a.m. Central Time Zone because I'm based in Texas. And then I might post a second video that same day at around like 7 p.m. It all depends on your specific niche as well as the overall analytics that are seen to be, well, the overall times that are seen to be the best times to post on TikTok. Like I did market research before and I found this blog post that said that these were the top times to post day by day, hour by hour, week by week. And I can post that in the chat if I can just pull it up, but yeah.
Absolutely. No. And then right after Ms. Green, we are going to have Tony. So sit tight with us, Tony, because we're getting to you. I also want to note 3 things. Number 1, she said she did her research. Number 2, she also talked about the kind of videos. You need to find your audience. Who is your audience? And then number 3, look at those analytics. Analytics are going to be key, especially now. Everybody is the analytics are at our disposal by the click of a button. One thing that somebody told me was on Instagram, make sure that you take your account, if it's personal, and transfer it over to business so you can begin seeing those demographics and those different post times. If you have a like page on Facebook, you can see on your settings, or I think it's on page, not page info, but somewhere on there where you can look at your popular post times so you can post on your page. So it's going to be important to do that. Let me see this. Who has one more question? And then we'll get into how do you generate income. Deontay, I see you have your hand up.
Oh, yes. All right. So one question I had is, with social media becoming so big and everything being a microwave culture, how do you find balance for you to be able to relax? I'm seeing all the things that we have to do for engagement, and we have to, keep up with this time, post at this time. And I know you can automate some of those things, but really, how do you find your peace of mind, and how do you find the time for you to be able to relax and even just to recoup all your energy?
Okay, this is an excellent question, and I'm glad you asked. So, what I like to do when I'm creating content on TikTok is actually bulk filming. So, I'll like if I see a lot of trending type of sounds or video editing styles on TikTok, I'll go ahead and I'll dedicate one day specifically to filming all those types of videos. And I'll save those videos in my drafts on TikTok so that I can post at the appropriate time for that particular day.
That's a good point. So if you're just now joining us, because I see somebody has, number one, find your niche. Number two, who's your target audience? Number three, look at those analytics. And number four, content strategy. One of the things that we listed were scheduling content. Scheduling is not so much like Deontay said. You can, because I do that all the time with my Facebook group. I will schedule posts like one day or the night before. But what you want to do is dedicate one day out of the 7-day week. You want to say, this is when I'm going to film all of these videos. I'm going to have all my outfits. I'm going to put my ADHD to use. And I'm going to make sure that I get this content posted. Let me ask you, because I get your notifications frequently on TikTok, and I love them, and I catch your live videos. What do you get to schedule on TikTok, or do you have to post natively?
So there is the option to post, do scheduled posts on TikTok. At first, I was going to do that, but the way it's set up for certain platforms that allow that is that they don't allow you to incorporate into your videos like the viral sounds, because that's one thing that helps with getting your videos more exposure with the algorithm if you use viral sounds that you see on your For You page. Mm-hmm. So with those posting schedule websites and services, they don't allow that feature. So I instead just save everything to my drafts, and then I set my alarm on my phone to notify me when to post.
Girl, you smart. Y'all just do me a favor, drop some clapping emojis. Let me say it right, for not Carolyn. Say it one more time.
Carolyn.
I'm gonna get it right.
Yeah, I have so many tips on content creating. This is literally just like the tip of the iceberg. I'm actually going to make sometime soon a video sharing all of my tips on how to grow on there. So make sure to follow my YouTube channel for that.
All right, last two questions before we get to Tony, Benton Jr.
Hey,
how do you make money from these? I know you have YouTube. I've seen the YouTube where, if you get over 1,000 subscribers, then you will be eligible to get a check from YouTube. But now you have so many followers on these different platforms. Some people are full-time TikTok influencers. Like, that's what I'm seeing on my LinkedIn page. Like, that's a job. So number one, I'll ask this question first and I'll ask this next one, but how do you make your money?
Okay, so for TikTok in particular, you start being eligible for what's called a TikTok Creator Fund once you reach 10,000 followers. So I was able to reach a minimum of 1,000 followers just 2 days on being on the app. And that's in comparison to being on YouTube. It took me several months just to get to 1,000 followers. So that should really motivate you to go ahead and start making content on TikTok, because it's a lot easier to grow your platform there as opposed to other platforms. So yeah, you start getting paid at around $10,000 from the Creator Fund. And then of course, people will eventually branch out to you for, ad content, things like that. So.
And I see on your YouTube page that, different brands are coming out to you. And then you have the 50% off, like different code you get to use, which is good because based on your follower base. So question, when you begin to start making money from these different platforms, is this something that you're looking at doing full time? Do you think this could be somebody's full-time job?
Yeah, I think this can be full-time, especially this year since my brand is growing so fast. So yeah.
Okay, we have one, thank you. We have one more question that we can take, Carolyn, and then we're gonna go to Tony. One more, okay, go ahead.
Oh,
who's gonna ask a question? Is it me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Okay. So my question was, I know they say consistency is such a big thing, and Eileen, shh. They say that consistency is such a big thing. I'm with my family. They say consistency is such a big thing in like media. So I know that you said you'll usually post around 2 times a day. Have you noticed that if you post it more, that you get more engagement, that your page grows quicker? Or I know that you have a schedule as well too. So I was just curious, do you think the more you post, the better you do? I know they especially say with YouTube, that's the case, the more you post.
So I like to keep my posts to like 1 to 3 times per day. At first I was trying to do like 5 times a day, but honestly that was overwhelming since I have all this other stuff going on in my life. But honestly, yeah, it's better to just post 1 to 3 times a day. I typically only do once a day as of lately, because sometimes if you give your following too much content all at once, they feel overwhelmed. So it's best to like simmer it down every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not before, let me see if y'all did it. Oh, did y'all do it? If we can, one thing that we like to do at DCOW is we want to make sure that everyone feels the love. So if we can please unmute and tell Carolyn, I said it right?
Yes.
Thank you. That would be very helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much for your time.
Yes.
Thank you.
From so many good things. I appreciate
That was awesome. Thank you.
All right, before we bring up Tony to the stage, this is our tag and snapshot break. If you have not, this is what I want you to do. Anything that Carolyn has said, what we can do today is give her a follow, but anything that Carolyn has said, make sure you tag her in it, quote her, all right? She is the next big thing, if you haven't seen, based on her follower count. So make sure you are doing that. I'll hear people saying clap, clap, clap. And then make sure that you are signed up for the PR and marketing class. And you use the hashtag DCOW. And follow her TikTok channel at Scholarship Guru, and then her YouTube channel at ESP Daniela. Is that your alter ego?
Wait, my YouTube channel?
Yes. Is that your Daniela?
Oh, Danielle is like my middle name. My middle name's Danielle, so I just changed the last letter.
You know how Nicki Minaj, that's her alter ego? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Or Beyonce, Sasha Fierce.
With Donald Glover, Childish Gambino up in here.
Yeah. All right. Now we are getting ready to bring up Tony Benton Jr. If you can, please drop the clap emojis. See, on Clubhouse, you get to take your mic and you get to mute it on and off, but I want to see the
Right, you can just clap with the mute button.
I'm here to tell you, Tony Benton Jr., he is the creator of Daily Devotional, okay? I mean, he is amazing. Like I told you before, he's a journalist and a brand strategist. And we're going to touch on how does he create content. Every time you see him, y'all going to like this word I use, but he keeps it fresh. It's something new every time. It's innovative, and people like him. He's more than a personality, but he actually has the skill sets that his viewers love to watch. So we're also going to be talking about how do you manage multiple platforms. He's originally from Atlanta, a graduate from Georgia State University. And like I said before, he was heavy in entertainment public relations. So we're going to watch this short UNL success story, and then we'll get into talking with Tony. Uh-oh. Hold on. We are going to make sure we can hear Tony.
Now UNL alumni. Hey everyone, Tony Benton Jr. here. Now UNL. Hey everyone, Tony Benton Jr. here, now UNL alumni. Been through the program since 2011, and I just want to say thank you, Usher's New Look. Thank you to all of our donors, all of the other individuals who are involved in Usher's New Look. I will be moving, actually in a couple of days, to New York to intern with Good Morning America, and Usher's New Look truly helped me to be able to speak it into existence, and now it's come to pass, and dreams do come true. So thank you so much to everyone involved with Usher's New Look. I love you so much, and this is not goodbye, but see you later for now. So going from Atlanta to New York. Love you guys.
All right, Tony Benton Jr.
What's up?
How you doing?
I am doing all right. Can't complain, even though it's Monday, pushing through.
No, definitely. First, we just want to thank you for joining us. You are very busy, and you have a lot of brands that you keep updated daily, and you have a lot of people who work with you on a daily basis. So not only do you do your day job, but you are also making moves and doing teamwork with other people. First, I want to ask you, in terms of content creation, what do you think that the future of content creation is? Because as a journalist, like I said, you're working a 9 to 5, but then you're also managing your own brands. And then you did an internship at Good Morning America.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the future of content creation, where do you see that going?
I think that, the content creation's future is ever changing. It's funny because growing up and watching the growth from MySpace to, YouTube progressing and seeing Facebook progress and all of those different things. Snapchat have its high and low, Vine. And now we're in the TikTok era. It's been really interesting to be able to see it grow. I think right now, one of the biggest things is people just simply creating their own content. Everyday people, you don't have to be a quote unquote celebrity to create content. You don't have to be a journalist to create content. You can wake up and like Carolyn, wake up and say, you know what? I want to be able to help someone else. I want to be able to create something fun and be able to give back and help someone else out. I think that that's truly important, is kind of finding your why. Your why should not be, I'd hate to say your why should not be to go viral. But I'll tell you like this, it's good to have goals, but I put it like this. The things that go viral are the things that aren't, kind of made to go viral. It's the things that just kind of happen, or if it's something that, you just put your heart in it, you just put it out to just kind of see what works. Sometimes, yeah, if you plan it out and it's good enough, people like it enough, it could go viral. But, I kind of had to get out that habit myself, to where it was like, you know what, let me not just create content that I believe is meant to go viral, and let me just create content. Let me just do something that I think is fun. Let me create content that I think is enjoyable, because I believe that if you don't connect to the content, Kamara, it's not going to be successful.
No,
so have a connection to whatever you're creating.
No, that's 100%. I 100% agree, because oftentimes, and especially when we're looking at things through a different lens, we could see somebody who could post something. There are people who have accidentally went viral. I remember when the Shade Room, they posted something that I did, and I really was not. It was just somebody in a nail shop. Somebody sent it to me, and it just blew up from there. I think I tagged you and a couple other people, and then everybody just shared it. And I've tagged you all on other things, and it didn't get that much reach, and I got over 1 million views. But I want to touch on, because this is his Rep Zone page, and this is his multimedia and PR company, Red Carpet Coverage. So you can see him doing this. Let me ask you this, as a lot of us are journalists in here, right? How do you balance journalism and then your own company? How do you do that?
Well, I've always kind of found myself juggling different social media pages. Right now I'm logged in. I've been logged into the Instagram as far as my personal. I remember running 2 student pages in college while also running another page, my business, the Rep Zone page. I just kind of found myself having access to those different accounts and just being able to just kind of keep that balance. I will say this, someone had asked earlier, they had said, how do you know if you're pushing out too much content? You definitely don't want to overwhelm, obviously, those who are following you, but also keep in mind, they're following you for content. They're following you so that they can see whatever you post. If you don't post, then, that if you're asking, why don't I get, why aren't I getting engagement? Why aren't people commenting? Why aren't people viewing my story? Why aren't people, why aren't I getting views or getting posts? Well, it's like if you don't post often, or if your last post was November of last year, then it's like, they're like, what am I supposed to, what am I supposed to watch? What am I looking out for? So it's just pretty much continuously feeding those pages and those who are your audience and your followers. One example, Kamara, when I got to work at WPTA, my job that I'm at now in Fort Wayne, Indiana, our Instagram page had about 7,000 followers, and the page was pretty inactive. And I think all the posts that it really had was post of just local scenery. It could have been a lake or, some weather temperatures or a nice field or something like that downtown. But I was like, people come to the news page because they want to see news, right? They
Right.
want to see what's going on. They want to see, you know, what's some program changes or things that are going on in their area or on the station page. So once I took over the page, I just started pushing out that content. I would take the content that we have from our website, screenshot, and be able to post it. I would be able to take content from ABC's network page, credit them, seeing it, and just be able to build that content. And now our Instagram page at our station has 11.8 thousand followers. So that's grown over the last couple of months since I've taken it over. Thank you. But that was simply because it was like, push out that content. But Kamara, I even had to learn. I found myself at first doing 4-5 posts a day. And even some of the people at the station came and they were like, you know, hey, Tony, that's a lot of posts. Can you maybe post some in the story and then some on the timeline? And then I was like, okay, because I don't want people to unfollow saying, dang,
That's right.
that's a whole lot of content. So I just had to also make that adjustment in knowing. And since you brought this up, Kamara, before you ask your next question, with the daily devotional together, since that's a daily content creator, I broke that down to where it's basically 3 posts a day or 2 posts a day. So I have to post the flyers so that you can know who's coming up the next day. And then after the flyers posted, then you see, and the flyer, it's one line. So even if you scroll down, you'll see a continuation of just, that's the consistency.
Right.
You'll always see the flyer. Next to the flyer, you'll always see the actual live video so that you can know what is the video that went with that flyer. It's easy to find. Then I post some sort of motivational picture. It might be a quote. It might be a funny meme. It might be a shout out post. Sometimes I'll screenshot some people who were past guests or past alumni to be able to keep them engaged. Another thing is people like to see themselves. Other people love to see themselves. If you are running your station page or maybe your school's Instagram page for media or something like that, repost other students, repost people in your community. Why? Because people love to see themselves. People love to see that you're interacting and engaging with them. So it's like, oh, that's why I want to go to that page as well, because I see, oh, they actually acknowledge me as a human being, as an audience member.
No, that's a good one. I want to point out, he said, listen, I have a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, for people who are taking notes or mental notes, you want to make sure it's so important. If you're going to post once a day, be consistent in posting once a day. If you're going to post twice a week, say, listen, I'm going to post twice a week. But everybody here should have a brand account. I'm a proponent. I am an advocate for that. Everybody here, if you are a journalist, if you are a blog, you have some type of niche, you need to have a brand account. And you need to, it's Tania. She was posting some exercise videos. She posted some today. I'm going to do those exercises in the morning. I'm a fan of her. So you have got, everybody here is a brand. I saw a job posted from TMZ when I think I was in like high school. And it has probably grown since then, but they were paying people, they were going to increase the pay on somebody just based on their social media follower account. So yes, it does matter. And it matters also your reach, because on my Twitter page, it said in the last 31 days that on my Twitter page is what, I'm verified, but it's like I only have over 3,000 followers. But based on what I've been posting, I got over, over 183 impressions, 3,000 impressions.
Yeah, that's different.
It's about how many people are seeing and watching. And now, so Tony, let me ask you this. It's funny. You said that you have different tabs up. And for some people, you will have different brands. The blog, you'll have your other page, you'll have your sports page. How do you manage? Number one, how do you manage multiple accounts? And then number two, how do you know when to ask somebody to come on and help you?
I believe that, having some sort of, I believe I have one of those strategies where I didn't sit down and kind of write out that strategy. I just kind of figured out that strategy. And again, it's different for the different audiences. I don't even want to say different platforms, but like the different pages. My station page has a different audience than my devotional page. My devotional page has a different audience than my personal page. My personal page has a different audience than other pages that I might work with. And knowing that audience, I think helps. Knowing how much that you post also helps. I'll notice, for example, with my daily devotion, again, that's posting 3 times a day. that has a little bit less of a following because it's not a station page. That station page has, of course, the station behind it. It has people coming looking for news from it. It has older people, younger people. And that's one of the reasons why I took it to Instagram, is because, we have a different audience on our station Facebook page or our station, Twitter page. So knowing that type of audience, who's coming to look for that content on whatever page you're at. With the devotional page, as far as me managing that, I already know every day I'm making the 2 to 3 posts. I already have the flyers made from the beginning of the week, right? Because I already have the flyer made from the beginning of the week because I know who's hosting, who's going to be a guest. I already know that next post is going to come right after the live is done. We post that right afterwards. That's that next post. So then I have
strategy.
Right. Then I have the meme photos or the quote photos or stuff like that, which is all over Instagram. That right there already kind of has things laid out, right? So that already has things broken down to where it's easy, it's quicker for me to post. Carolyn made a great point in saying, she'll take a day and maybe make 5 TikToks. If you make 5 TikToks and post that every other day already, that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you've already got TikToks ready for next week. But then next week, you go ahead and record 5 more. Now you're already in the 2 weeks from now. Then that way you already have these posts in the bag ready to go. You already have these posts in the draft folder, as I like to say, ready to go. So that's how I manage it. I manage it by planning ahead. As far as asking for help at the station, at the news station, I'll say, hey, you guys, when you're at a scene, please tag us. When you're at the scene of a crime, or if you're at the scene of an interview, take some pictures and just tag us, and then we'll be able to just repost it because people want to see what our reporters are doing as well. That was the same thing I did when I was running the school page as well.
Yeah, and that was preparation. I want to also make this note. Journalists who are working at a news station, who are aspiring to work at a news station, what Tony and, her name is not Carolyn, but Carolyn. But what Tony and Carolyn is emphasizing, when you do work at a news station, sometimes a news director or a hiring manager can say, you know what, we need to look at, reevaluate this person's contract or how much we're paying them, because they really are adding value. Everything that Tony and Carolyn are talking about is you're adding value. You add value to yourself. And then also Tony has a very large following. I think he has about 8,000 to 10,000 followers on Instagram, but the reach surpasses that. And oftentimes, if brands want to reach out to you, it can be a local deli. I'm telling you, this happened. It can be a local deli, and they want to see how much they can make by being a partner with you. And you don't have to have that many followers, but it's your reach. I was talking to somebody on one call, and they were saying, listen, they only got like 2,000 followers. They have a huge business, but their follower count is low. But they said, the business said, I don't want to see that. I want to see how many people are engaging with you.
Yeah.
They want to see how many people engage with her. Her and Tony, they have a lot of engagers. So I'm going to open up the floor for questions. It's about 7:45 right now. Janine, I see that you have a question, and then we're going to have some more people. Thank you. Oh, and last question. Tony, how do you bring another person in to help you start managing your different ideas?
How do you bring other people in to start managing your different ideas? I believe that, well, every obviously situation is different. It does depends. Are you creating is it a platform that you've created on your own? Is it something that you're doing under a job? Is it something that you're doing with a business or organization? Is it something you're just doing for fun? And kind of thinking in that regard, first off, how is that working out? Do you really need assistance? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Like I said, build that strategy to where you might be able to do it on your own. I run our Instagram on my own. People, like I said, send me different content, but I run it, on my own. So it's not, I believe, something that has to have 4 or 5 people on the team, posting in that regard. Now, if you're at a status like ABC News, Good Morning America, then yeah, they've got about 4 or 5 people on the team. But if it's just, something that you're trying to grow, I think as of that starting point, focus on you being able to do it. If you're not able to do it, or you don't feel like you're good at it, how can you teach someone else or bring on someone else to help you out? So really just keep working on trying to build that content, figure out the strategy on your own, and then kind of begin to bring other people in as you figure that out yourself. So, figure out a strategy, build a strategy, and then from there, you'll begin to see if you need four hands or if you're good with the two you got.
All right, that sounds good. I see Janine and then Jay. I see you with your hand raised. Go ahead, Janine.
What's up, Janine?
Hey, Tony, how you doing? Long time no see. Just was wondering, how do you figure out what to post? Like you say you film a bunch of videos in one day. Do you do it by like moments or things that you think people would be interested in? Like, what's your thought process behind that?
I believe that, with that, again, it's up to you as the content creator. Sometimes people will create content and then they'll post it based off of something that maybe happened in the world. They may post it off of, maybe something that is trending on Twitter. Maybe it was a conversation that they seen on Clubhouse. So, it's kind of like, also whatever mood you're in, to be able to see what you believe that your people would want. And I have no question or problem. I believe that you should also ask your audience. Kamara is very familiar with the Daily Devotional Together. It originally started at 8 o'clock. And I had thought, let me see, maybe 8 o'clock's too early, for people to wake up. And I had posted, which it was. And I had made a post. I said, hey, take a poll in our story. Would you like to move it to 9 o'clock? Hey, comment on this. And, would you like to move it to 9 o'clock? I'm going to test this out. And I just began to test out theories and just, throw things out there. So when you think about, or when I begin to think, how do I decide what to post when? My audience trusts that I'm going to be able to post what they want. That's why they follow you. Your audience is following you because they trust that whatever you post, they're going to like it. That's why they're following you, because they're like, look, I like what they're posting, and I trust that whatever they post next, I'm going to like it as well. Or whatever they post next, I'm going to need it. So with Carolyn, maybe this day she's posted about interviews. The next day she's posting about resume tips. The next day she's posting about websites. The next day she's posting about attire. The next day she's posting about people she helped. But then maybe she'll revisit those tips of interviews, and maybe they're different tips. And also, don't hesitate to repeat content. Just switching it up a little bit. It's all the time where people reinvent content that they did from a month ago or from a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Or even news stories. We do a follow-up story. You just kind of revamp it instead of always trying to think, let me try to create something new all the time. Instead, maybe you say, let me create 3 videos where I break down 3 tips in each one. Then you say, let me write down 9 tips. That way you already have 3 videos, but it's new and fresh content, even though it's the same topic. So hopefully that answered your question right there.
That's good. And listen, I'm going to take that 9 tips, 3 different videos. Y'all caught that. 3 times 3 is 9. I ain't no math major, but I know the fundamentals. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 hands. Jay, you're next. I see Tania. Okay. So what we're going to do is, Jay, go ahead and ask your question, and then I'll pick on these other people. And I see your hand, Deontay. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Tony. Hey, thanks for your help. So the issue that I found is that when you're trying to do like the scheduled posts, like filming everything one day and then kind of scheduling it out, I'm trying to get into the world of entertainment journalism. So I found it's a little bit difficult. Like you can't pre-plan for Kanye and Kim to get a divorce.
Right.
So how do you suggest to plan that kind of content if a lot of my news is kind of more reactionary versus proactive? You know what I'm saying?
Like it's more in the moment, right?
Yeah, like if I get, like I have a website talking about different things in pop culture and entertainment news and stuff like that. And I do want to get on TikTok and, expand my brand that way. And so scheduling posts, because I have a full-time job, would be wonderful. It's just I'm trying to figure out how would I do that when a lot of my content happen, like I have to write it as it happens.
Right. Well, I believe that what you could do in that regard, I've been seeing, you know, obviously we've talked about TikTok, but there are also things, you know, like called Reels on Instagram. My suggestion to that is also not being afraid to kind of foreshadow. You know, so for example, Kim and Kanye, you might post a 1 minute or maybe a 30-second reel or a TikTok video, and you say, hey, all right, let's break this down real quick. And maybe you'll go through, you know, a couple of facts that you've already seen. As far as scheduling those posts and foreshadowing, you know, you may have to break down a different type of strategy and thinking, okay, if the topic is Kim and Kanye, let me do one video where I'm kind of recapping some stuff that already happened. And then maybe let me do another video where I'm breaking down maybe some reactions that I've seen, or maybe I can break down some tweets that I'd seen, or reading some of those, or reading some of the headlines that you came across. So it's like one of those things where not even, you know, you're trying to look forward to the future, but it's still building that content on that story. So one thing that we say in journalism all the time is thinking of the angle. You know, what's the angle in which you're telling the story? So let's say that you're doing a story, let's say you're talking about entertainment news. Let's say the Real Housewives. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Not Love and Hip Hop. Now y'all know I'm. Oh, please.
You know, Love and
Y'all
Hip
watch
Hop's on
the
their little
preview.
pause right now. You know, Love and Hip Hop's on their little pause. But let's say even Love and Hip Hop. Let's say any reality show. The show comes out using Real Housewives. That drops on Sunday night, right? Well, maybe on Monday morning or Tuesday in the afternoon, maybe you set a time aside and you do 2 videos. Maybe one you take to kind of recap what happened in that episode. And then the next one is like, you know, what we can look forward to in the next one. What might happen in the next episode, or I don't know what, maybe a post that you had seen on one of the cast members' pages or something like that. That's the angle that's just different, and you're able to create a video for something that's already happened and then looking forward to something else that did happen.
Gotcha.
So again, it's kind of all about you playing around with it, you figuring it out. Again, with that entertainment news, because with that, you might just have to take more days to record. You know, maybe it's you say, okay, it's Sunday and this happened over the weekend. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to choose, you know, Meghan Markle and Harry is having the second child. Kim Ye is getting a divorce, and Roddy Ricch has a shooting at his music video. That's right. 3 topics. But you can go ahead and record all 3 of those in one day. And then if you post them kind of back to back, then that way, at least by Wednesday, Thursday, that content is out, you know, because you know that it's still going to be talked about. If the shooting happened yesterday, they're going to talk about it at least for the next 2 or 3 days. If Kanye and Kim filed for divorce on Friday, it's going to be breaking news come Monday morning.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If something happens on Friday, it'll be breaking news come Monday morning. If something happens Thursday, Saturday morning, people will be talking about it. So even if you do something 2 or 3, sometimes 4 days in advance, you'll get away with it because people will be catching up to it and talking about it. Again, that could be on Clubhouse. That could be on Twitter. That could be on Instagram. At this point, especially entertainment, like Kamara said, we can't get off Instagram and Twitter. We have to be in the know for everything that's going on, especially in news, entertainment, all of that.
And I'll tell you this, Jay, that was a great question, because what Tony is talking about is when we hear strategy, do not be scared of that word. Strategy is not mind-blowing. A strategy is a plan. What is your plan? You have every journalist, every person on here needs to have their personal account, then you have your brand account. Whether that's a personal page where you have your family, your friends, where you're going out. Then you have your business account. Everybody on here should be doing some sort of fashion, if you can, business, blog, okay? And then from there, you figure out your plan. And it's okay. You say, listen, Kamara, I done fell off a little bit. Because I didn't, one of mine, I say, dang, I need to update this. But what you do, you go to different meetups, you connect with Tony, you connect with Carolyn, and then you say, hey, Tony, can I schedule a call with you? Can we talk for about 15 minutes? And those kind of things, they will happen. But you want to write out, and the way to stay consistent is you write out a plan on a piece of paper, and you say, listen, 2 to 3 times a week, I'm gonna update this page. I'm sticking to it. I don't care if it's on a Sunday. I don't care if I started Monday, Wednesday, then a Sunday. You can check mark that off because you did it. Then you build on that. So start off with what is your plan? Find out your plan, and then you can move from there. All right.
Kamara, can I add something to that real quick?
Yes.
I know there was a question earlier in regards to trying to find rest as you do this. My recommendation is definitely always have your self-care time. Always find your rest. But the people who are influencers and the people who are putting in that work, Carolyn, you know, it's like you got to put in the time. You have to put in the time. Look, you know, Kamara, like with these devotionals, we have to take time. Sometimes I got to set up the ring light. I got to pull up the background in the back.
You gotta pray.
I gotta set up the music. I gotta sing. I gotta set up the scriptures. I gotta send those out to the guests. So you gotta put in the time. You know, with the digital careers worldwide, you guys think 5,000 people just came to Kamara and knocked on her Facebook page and just said, "Hey, I need some help." No, it took work. It took commitment. It took the dedication. It took the consistency. So just know, if you want to be able to get that result of creating that content, building your followers, building your engagement, you're going to have to put in the work. If you don't like how you look on camera, maybe try to change up maybe your wardrobe, put on some makeup that's different, do something different that makes you comfortable with putting yourself on camera more. You just have to find those ways to do it, because if you say you want the result, you have to be willing to put in the work to get the benefit.
Amen. I know that's right. Take two things from this conversation from Tony, and let me tell you, he manages multiple platforms. He has a PR entertainment industry, okay? I mean, PR entertainment management company, and then he also has a ministry, okay? It takes a lot of work to do that. It takes a lot of work, but when we look at people, Facebook, when we look at all these big people who started these companies, you're gonna lose some sleep. It's okay. That's why we're young. That's why you call it, these your years, from about 20. And I'm not saying this even if you are above the age of 40, because let me tell you something, we work with those kind of people in DCOW. Somebody just got a job and he went to Nebraska. He's well off. He's not, in his 20s or 30s, I think. But what I'm telling you is why we are in this age and why the information is available to us. But it's okay, because it's going to pay off in the long run. All right, let's go off and take these questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Tania. No, I'm sorry, Dijon, and then Tania, and then Sear. Dijon.
All right. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Brother Tony.
How you doing, man?
All right, bro. Me and Tony got similar backgrounds. We both grew up in a single parent home. We both journalists. I know back in 2019, I had launched my podcast, and I got a lot of followers and stuff. So right now, I just interviewed a civil rights activist, local civil rights activist back in Michigan. She was with her husband, went to college with Dr. King when he was 15. And let's see, they also knew Dr. Mays. So I was going to tell Tony, with me launching my podcast and having multiple platforms, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is my professional page. I don't, interact with it. It's just professional. So how can I go about and increasing my brand and making sure I'm on an even platform?
That's good. That's a good question.
Yeah, very good question. One, I would like to say, I've got to revisit that word consistency. That podcast that you have, keeping that going. There will be times where when I first started the Daily Devotional together, when I first started, it was a whole bunch of viewers. There was a whole bunch of people tuning in. Of course, at the beginning, people want to see what's going on. They want to support and things like that. But then a couple weeks in, and people started realizing, all right, 8 o'clock in the morning every day? Oh, okay. And I began to honestly see the numbers dwindle down. But I had to ask myself, I had the conversation with my mom. I had to ask myself, myself said, And I said, why are you doing this? Like, what is your why? What is your purpose for behind doing this? And I said, my purpose is I want to be able to help people. I want people to tune in and be refreshed. I want people to tune in and get their day started right. I want people to tune in and feel the vibe. So I had that mindset, and I continue to keep it going. And I see that, more and more followers, people would follow, more and more guests would want to come on. People would request to want to come on. I created its own page to where it's created its own brand and entity, like Kamara was saying. Right. So to answer that question, man, in regards to building that brand, formulating that brand, continue to do your podcast. If it's weekly, continue to do it weekly. If it's monthly, if it's daily, continue to do it. Or maybe if you're doing too much or not enough, adjust that. But that's how your brand will begin to truly mold itself. The Daily Devotional Together molded itself. I came with the idea and said, I said, God, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to do a devotional platform. And I said, okay. And that's exactly what I did. And the consistency is just keeping it going. And the brand formulated itself. Now I have multiple hosts. Multiple guests that I have. Shout out to Kamara D, who is a reoccurring host on the platform. And yeah, at that point, the brand will mold itself and create itself the more you do it. And it's the same thing if you all are asking yourself individually, what is my brand? I know that Kamara has suggested, and as I like to say, we dare you to go out there and build your brand, formulate your brand, have your own page, and then have some sort of page for your brand, whether or not it's your own source, whether or not it's for your podcast, whether or not it's your news station, whatever it is, create that brand. And as you do it more and more, it will mold itself, but you have to allow it that opportunity to do so. So hopefully, Dijon, that answered your question. Consistency, and it'll mold itself.
Let me also piggyback Dijon what he said, because I want people to pay attention to this. There are a couple things when I'm looking down, so I'm writing some notes.
Yeah.
But I want y'all with different nuggets that Tony said. Mm-hmm. Number one, to increase your brand. Right. When I saw Carolyn, she went from 0 to over 40,000 in 1 month. Okay, I want to talk to her, and because I want to do the same in 1 month. But she said, listen, even when but what Tony was talking about when he started seeing the numbers go down, mm-hmm. Even when you don't see the results that you're looking for, people are watching. Even when you don't see the results I hear you, Peter, when you don't see the results, what I want y'all to do is, as creators, as business owners, as people, we still have to keep going. It don't stop. It don't stop because somebody said no, or it doesn't stop because we didn't get 1,000 views. Yep. Or in some cases, you might take your time, you might do this, that, and the third, and only 5 people watch it. So what? We're talking about the consistency of it, because it is going to pay off. So a couple things to increase your brand. Go live. You said you have a podcast. Mm-hmm. You also want to do engagement. Did you want to tweet and say, you know what? Ask what is your question of the day or question of the week? And then also partner with other people. You might interview other people, but we want to see those flyers. You and I, we're Twitter friends. So I want you to tag me on those flyers. Begin to tag other people who are journalists and who have a good following. And tag Carolyn. They'll tweet you out. And once you begin that's your strategy, say, well, I will tag random people. One time, Devon Franklin retweeted some affirmation that I did, and it was with Bible scripture. And I had a strategy. You know why? Because he be praying online, and I need to talk to him. Yeah. You got everything you need, Dijon, right there, the palm of your hand. You just got, we connected to big folks, and we the next big folks. So go ahead, use everything that you got, and motivate yourself. All right, I see you, Peter, you're going to be our last question. We got I said Tanya, and then Deontay, and then Sierra. Tanya, Deontay, Sierra, and then Peter.
And then Peter.
Okay, so hi, Tony. Shh. Real quick. Hi, Tony. My dad's name is Tony, which is really cool. But yeah, you answered my question about the social media breaks. And I was just curious about that because I know that a lot of people are like, oh, sometimes you need to take a break from social media, but I understand that like in our aspect, well, at least most of ours, it's like our job. So it's not, you're not just going to take a break if that's your job Monday through Friday. So it makes more sense. But you mentioned about requests on your daily devotionals. That was my other question. Do you accept requests on daily devotionals? And how do you go about choosing, who do you want on your show?
Are you pitching to be on the daily devotional?
I am. I was hoping you were picking up.
Amazing person.
Well, first of all, shout out to you shooting your shot. That's first of all. I ain't mad at you. So yes, we will talk offline. We can talk about getting you on the daily devotional together. I respect and appreciate that. Initially, that's how some people do. They'll say, like, I had somebody text me the other day and say, hey, I'm not working next week at 9 o'clock. Can I hop on? That's the point of it. This isn't a thing where you have to be a celebrity or you have to have a certain amount of followers or you have to have a testimony, or if you feel comfortable with getting on, you can come on it, and I welcome you to do so. So yes, we can talk about that. Secondly, shout out to your daddy for having the best name in the world.
I know, right?
Third,
second best, mine's the best.
Yes,
no, just
third, I would say in regards to, look, when I talk about social media breaks, don't get me wrong, I've had one before. I've taken it before. Be mindful of you taking your social media break. So for example, when I did a fast, I think my break was, I said, I'll stay on Twitter, but I won't get on Snapchat and Instagram. Or if I do get on Instagram, it's strictly for devotional. Or if I do get on Instagram, it's strictly to post for our station page, or I'll tell myself, okay, when I get on Twitter, I just won't scroll. It's just whenever I get on Twitter for the next couple days, I'll just look at what's trending. So that way I'm not finding myself scrolling. I'm not finding myself looking at everyone else's story. I'm finding myself going to the platform specifically to do the job, to get the knowledge, to get whatever I need to know, to post whatever I need to post, but not scroll. So I'll say, Tony, hey, for the next week, go on Instagram, but no Shade Room, no World Star, no American Idol videos, no reality show videos, or whatever your niche is or that you like to watch. But just break down and just try to stake it to where you say, you know what, if it's school related, or if it's medical related, or if it's test related. And then that way you're narrowing your mind and you're not getting all that clutter, even if it's just for a couple of days.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like scrolling with a purpose. I know I've heard people say that. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Scrolling with a purpose instead of just scrolling for hours, as we can find ourselves. Like Carolyn was saying, imagine you can spend hours scrolling on TikTok if you're just scrolling on TikTok. But if you're creating the content, if you're going on the platform for a purpose, you won't find yourself mindlessly scrolling forever. So
that's right. Thank you. All right, Deontay, Sierra, and then Peter. I told y'all.
All right, I'll try to be quick with the question. So Tony, what's up? I'm Deontay.
Hey.
So the question I have is, I think it's really dope how you balance a lot of different things. You have a lot of different hats and tangible skills that you balance. Mm-hmm. But something I want to hear more about is how you balance your intangible skills, such as how do you balance having your faith and authenticity in all the things that you're doing right now?
All right. What a question, Deontay. How do I balance that? Well, one, me doing the daily devotional helps me balance out my faith. That's where that kind of came from. I was doing them anyway on my own time personally. And then God said, Tony, I want you to share it. I want you to do your daily devotional together. It was birthed out of the pandemic. It was one of those times where it was like, I was sitting at home and I was like, okay, well, on my off days, I still want to create content. I still want to be able to work towards something. And I thought, it doesn't have to just be on my off day. And then that's kind of how that was birthed out of. So that's one thing that I do. As far as keeping those other skills to the side, I do self-care, so I find time to work out. I'll find time to go for a walk. I still FaceTime with friends. I still, I'll go to Massage Envy. I actually just left today. I'll go get a facial or something like that. And I'll just take the time to myself because self-care is truly important. Go get a manicure and a pedicure. Go get, I don't know, whatever it is that calms you down or puts you at peace. That's what I do to help me with those intangible skills, the speaking and things like that. I just kind of stay engaged. Sometimes I'll go on Instagram just to go live on Instagram. Why? Because it helps you build your voice. Go to Clubhouse, just listen to people or talk and get used to just getting your voice going. I'm telling you, those are things that can help you out with those skills that aren't necessarily always on camera or writing. So that's my recommendation on that.
Excellent. All right, we have Sierra and then Peter. And then we're going to close out with one more thing. And
Cool
we
beans.
wrapped up.
Sierra.
Let me see. Did Sierra log off? She might have hopped off. Okay, Peter.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I had a question about, you all were talking about branding earlier, and I wanted to kind of jump into the same subject of branding / branching out, but at the same time staying in your lane. And the reason why I asked that, I started a gaming channel on YouTube a year ago. It's my thing. That's what I'm passionate about. And what I realized is that you can branch out in just about anything, but at the same time, you don't really want to lose yourself in your path. And so I realized, I can make, gaming content like for videos, but at the same time, I can also, do the same thing, but I can do a reaction video to something. And, the traffic comes differently. I might get, a little bit of viewage on, a gaming video versus I make a reaction video and get, hundreds of thousands of views. And so my real question really is, how do you, with your branding and whatnot, how do you branch out, but, still kind of stay in your lane without, stretching yourself too thin or too far, but, jump into those other little things that you can do with your specific niche?
That's good.
Yeah, man. Peter, great question. It's always been a touchy thing with me because growing up, I've always been one who people have tried to box me, but I've never been boxable. I don't like being in a box. I don't like sticking to one thing. So when you say like, staying in my lane, I'll put it like this. I widened the lane. I couldn't just do one thing. You can't just tell me, well, just be a singer. I couldn't just be a singer. I had to be a singer or an actor or be an actor. I couldn't just be an actor. I had to dance a little bit, So if you have and I think that's kind of our generation in general. Millennials love to have their hands in different things. Gen Z, I think, is after millennials. They like to have their hands in different things. We just like to have our hands in different things. And the way that I began to balance that is I kind of try to have everything intertwined in some way. There was at a time where I was DJing. Well, me DJing came right after the time where I was rapping. Yes, I used to rap. Still do sometimes.
Gospel rap, y'all. Gospel rap.
Fire.
Just letting y'all.
But sometimes when I went from rapping to DJing, but then also had acting, but then also had I had a radio show, but then that also turned into acting, theater. That popped up. Then that turned into journalism. So it's like everything that I've done is always kind of intertwined in some form or fashion. So I believe that if you feel as if, say, for example, you have a heart, let me see. You said gaming, right? And then you mentioned, what did you say? Reaction videos. If you like to do both, do both. I don't see why you can't, Peter. I think that if you want to be able to do both, you can be able to have your gaming brand, and then a part of your gaming brand, you also have your journalism brand, and then also aside from your journalism brand, you have maybe you're a dancer and we don't know about. And
I am a dancer.
You see, bam, then you tap into your dancing things. Shout out to you, Stephanie. I see you got to go. You can DM me if you have a question, or different things like that. So I want to tell you, don't be afraid to use your talents interchangeably. Don't be afraid to do so. You might do a reaction video where you dance. You might do a gaming video where you're giving a reaction. I don't know, but don't be afraid to have different lanes, but just don't have a whole bunch of completely different lanes starting out. Don't try to maybe be a rapper, but then on the other end, try to be a chef. But then at the same time, you might be a rapping chef. I ain't seen it before. So it's like, you think about those different ways to be new, to be different, to switch it up. And those are the people who people tell, hey, you can only do one thing. Hey, stay in your lane. Hey, focus on just one thing. I'm telling you, if you're able to kind of find a way to make those things all interchangeable or make them complement each other, you could possibly be able to do it all at once. If not, find something to focus on right now. One thing that I did when I was in school and I said, hey, I want to do PR, but I also want to do journalism, but I also want to do entrepreneurship. I said, okay, over the summer, I'm going to intern. I said, over the summer, I'm going to do PR work, which means I'm going to find public relation companies and I'm a volunteer. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to write press releases. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to work with nonprofit. But then when I get back to school, I'm going to focus all on journalism. I'm going to focus on just creating packages, writing stories, writing web articles. That way I was able to work on one skill here, another skill here, another skill later on, another skill later on. You're continuing to build those skills, continuing to wear those different hats. They complement each other, but you're also giving it the proper respect that it deserves, which is your time. So hopefully that answers your question, Peter.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Answer. Go ahead, Peter. Now, other people who have questions, I want you to do two things. I want you to DM Carolyn and Tony, and they will speak with you, okay? Now, what I want you to do is, please, everybody get off mute, and the DCOW way is making sure everyone feels the love. And tell Tony, thank you.
Thank you.
Much respect, much love. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Tony.
Tony.
Make sure that you follow him on
Appreciate it.
Instagram at Tony Benton Jr. TV, and then follow his daily devotional. You will not just be inspired, but you're going to get your word that day. So follow Monday through Friday. All right, and last but not least, it is mandatory that everybody here tweets, because I think we follow each other on Twitter. You tweet your Facebook, your Instagram about this event and do hashtag DCOW. Make sure you tell Carolyn and Tony, thank you. And if you haven't already, make sure that you are signed up for the PR and marketing class. Let's see. Anything else, Carolyn or Tony, any last words you would like to give?
Can I throw something out there real quick?
Go ahead.
Real quick, I want to shout out to Carolyn. Carolyn, you're doing a great job the way that you're doing things. I'm so glad I was able to connect with you in this way. Thank you, Kamara, for having me on the platform to be able to speak with all of you. My recommendation is, and Kamara, let me know if we can do this before we hop off. I recommend maybe if we all smile, we could screenshot this.
Yes.
Post that. Those are things that connect to your brand. Screenshot something like this. You were on this session. That's how you let people know, hey, we were on this session, and then you tag myself, you tag Kamara, you tag Carolyn. So then what do, Kamara? We retweet it, and then we like it, and then our people see it. And people see that y'all are connected with us. So that's my recommendation. When you guys get on things like this, maybe ask to take a screenshot, smile, post and things like that, so that you also be able to start building your brand and you don't feel like, oh, well, I'm just tweeting the tweet. No, attach this photo with it, which is most likely going to get it more engagement anyway.
All right.
Can I screenshot it?
Thank you, Joy, for joining us, Mother Joy.
All right,
everybody, what I need you to do is take your beautiful eyes and look into the lens of your camera. I'm going to count on 3. And I'm going to straighten some things out. All right. And we're going to do it 1, 2, 3. Yay! We took the photo. So this is our first, and actually I took another screenshot, but y'all didn't know. Y'all wasn't looking. But it was now this one we smiling. All right, Carolyn, is there any other words that you have for us? And thank you again. Tony, you were amazing. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me to be one of the speakers today. I learned a lot from what Tony was saying as well. And once again, on my YouTube channel, I'm going to eventually be making a video specifically on how to grow on TikTok, because there's so much advice that I have. So I hope that can help you guys.
No, we're going to be following both of you. Make sure you stay up to date with Tony and Carolyn. I'm telling y'all, influencers, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Influencers are media, okay? We need them, we want them, and as you can see, TikTok is utilizing them. So my challenge to you today is have your plan. What is your plan? Everybody should have a personal page for your media, and then you should also have your professional and your brand page. Write down your strategy. How many times a week are you going to post, and how are you going to engage your audience? Again, how many times a week are you going to post, and how are you going to engage your audience? And for example, the first time, the second time, if you don't get any engagement, you don't stop there, but you keep going. All right, beautiful people, I will see you on Twitter, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, take care. Kamara,